the smartest. So, welcome back. We're gonna get into episode 2. We're gonna get into the rest of season 1. How Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, starting with the second episode. Because episode 1 is such a good pilot. It truly stands on its own as its own little, like, it sets it up. It sets it up so well. God, poor Taylor. So now we've moved on to the Book of Belonging. We are 11 months after Taylor's arrest. And Taylor was charged with aggravated assault with 3 years of probation. Her and Dakota have decided to stay together, even though it is not the smartest decision. We will all live to regret this, but we will live. This will not kill us.
It might not be the smartest decision in our situation. It wasn't, but it is what it is.
Taylor has separated from the group in her trials and tribulations. Macy, Whitney, and Michaela are talking about Taylor. They're in a sidebar talking about Taylor. Michaela insinuates that Taylor is kind of stupid, and Macy says that Taylor thinks with her pussy, which is correct. Let's do a googie. Oof. She is a May Gemini. Yeah, she is. I respect it.
Love her, but sometimes I'm like, sweetheart, like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Taylor is going to invite all of Mom Talk to her baby shower. Dun dun dun. So like everyone's mad at Taylor again. They were mad in the pilot, which was a year ago, because she did the swinging scandal. It's like, Taylor, you can't do that. And now everyone's actually mad because Taylor going to jail apparently looks bad on all of Mom Talk, which I can actually agree with this time. So the rest of the girls are pissed.
But I feel like ever since the arrest, it's been the complete opposite. I know for a lot of people, like, brand deals have gone down.
Whitney, who is always looking for a reason to kick Taylor out, is like, the brand deals have gone down because of this.
Who is currently, like, the breadwinner at home?
I think all of us.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
All of us.
Really?
Yeah.
We all are. Look at us.
All of these women, we get to meet finally the rest of the girls, Jen, Demi, Jessie, Layla. All these girls are providers. And I do think getting so caught up in, like, the Jen of it all next season about her husband, when it becomes too much about the men, we kind of lose out on the stories. Like, Jen's original kind of storyline before this was like, she's the sex-positive, young, feisty one. And now she's just sad all the time. But, like, Jen and Layla are, like, holding it down for their families, like, specifically. Jessie has, hand job hair studio. And Demi seems to want for naught because she's married to a man with a maxed out 401k. But, like, these two women need this. So, and Taylor needs this because she's a single mom now. But, like, when you're fucking around on their bag, you're fucking around on their family. The brand deals have dried up. This is because trends are fickle and Sexy Mormon Mom Talk was so 2021, 2022. It's 2023, 2024. You're not the scoop du jour right now. You have to figure out how to maintain without the shock value of Mormons throwing it back. Taylor doesn't want to trust back with Taylor. Taylor doesn't want to trust Dakota, and that it feels so self-destructive and so self-sabotaging in a relationship. Taylor never stops blaming herself for everything bad that happens to her, despite the fact that Dakota's kind of the problem most of the time. That happens to her, and that she doesn't deserve a happy ending. Taylor talks about how much she's hurting to her mom, who sits there and stares at her like a fucking cow. She will continue to hurt and discourage Taylor throughout the rest of the season, but, the Mom Talk baby shower is an opportunity for a fresh start. After Swingers scandal broke and, the rest of everything else, so. Ooh. This is so much fun. This is exactly, I should have bought more. The intro section plays for full out for the first time, and we get the "Come be saints and come be sinners." Oh, yeah, and since they couldn't have gotten Sam Smith's, Sam Smith's "Unholy" as the intro, which I'm sure they wanted. I'm sure they wanted it bad. All the girls sans Taylor are making TikToks at Macy's house. All of these wives and former wives are all the breadwinners for the family, despite the low in on the brand deals in the last 3 months, taking brand deals for dildos and bladder protection. Oh my god, it's a Bellessa deal.
I can't see.
Just like pleasure toys for days.
It was like the first time I watched it, despite owning a Bellessa product, the first time I watched it, I didn't really perceive it. And then I was like, I think I had like been looking at my phone while rewatching it, and like I look down and I see like a YouTuber that I follow being like Bellessa with the like photo of like the yellow packaging like next to their face, and like oh my god. And then seeing Whitney do the same thing, I was like, I know what you are. Orgasm. So, oh my god, it's a Bellessa brand deal. For $20,000, Whitney needs to post a photo with her, with the dilly, with the vibe, in her story. Sex is so taboo in the church, even woke and kind Macy wouldn't have it on her story, wouldn't have it on her feed. She specifically said, because I rewatched the episode today, she wouldn't have it on her feed. She would have it in her story, which is 24 hours, but not in her feed. The divide in the group of the
You will. Once you do it once, you will want to do it all the time. You'll be like a teenage boy.
saints and sinners, the devout and the prudes. Layla has never had an orgasm, which is like, bless her. Like, there's so many things. I know they don't want to come in hot. There's so many more interesting things about Layla and her whole deal to be like, Little Miss never come. It's like, she's black and a convert. She's black and a convert. What are we doing here? Layla is 22, married at 19, and for 3 of those, married for 3, and has been divorced. She has only dated like 4 people total. Layla is super interesting because she's black in the Mormon church. She got baptized at 16 to fit in Utah. She looks super young compared to the rest of the girls. And she looks super young compared to the rest of the girls because she is. She's 22. I think it's Layla at 22, Jen at 23, 24, Michaela 23, 24, Macy. I think it's Demi, Macy, Whitney, Jessie. Jessie says she's 31. I haven't decided if it's misogynist for a woman to tell me her age, and I look at her and go, no, I don't believe you. I don't know yet if I'm being an asshole. But they're all within early 20s to early 30s. Jen is apparently a sex freak for her husband, Zach Affleck.
Do it for yourself. Don't even do it for him, because sex isn't just about the guy. It's about us too, you know? The more you enjoy it, the more they enjoy it, you know?
Jen Affleck, I think, is a victim of mean white people. And like Jen to me seems so sweet and so wanting to belong anywhere and being offered. God, I got offered to be a creator on a Gen AI inspiration small panel. No. I hate her husband, Zach Affleck. Zach Affleck has Cody Brown hair this season. It's like so like it's the only thing I could pay attention to. And I watched the end of season 1 into season 2 with my partner. We would like the entire time, the first couple of episodes that he would like look at Zach, he just like he's glaring. He goes, he's got that. Do all Mormon men have that haircut? And I'd be like, maybe. I don't know. It's evil. But on Jen and class. Jen's mother literally works in the building that Zach's dad is a cardiac surgeon in. Jen is an example of how marriage is class movement. That with the advent of social media, Jen could be whatever she wants to be, truly. But when you're Mormon, you're kind of, I was watching, God, what is her name? Alyssa Grenfell. I was watching Alyssa Grenfell interview the podcast host of Girls Camp, and they were talking about the concept of, this was about plastic surgery in Mormon culture, which we'll get into, but they talk about how if you culturally can't aspire to do any like bigger than what you've been put in a box to do, a lot of these Mormon women, they don't stop being ambitious, they don't stop wanting, and they end up they want to be as ambitious in that area as they can. And I think she wanted to be a fun, sexy stay-at-home mom, the most sexy, the most fun, the most productive, and that ended up springing into a career that is worth fostering. Fuck Zach. Marriage is class movement, that she married up into a situation where she'd be more financially well off in exchange for her dignity and making herself smaller. But then she starts making more money than her husband, and now she's too big for Zach. And he treats her, well, poorly. We see how pushing back on this marriage structure affects her. Spoiler alert, not well. And love is a powerful thing. Jen believes that Zach is the only person who's going to love and take care of her, and thus lets him treat her, talk crazy to her, and kind of just has to like make up for it in the friend group. It's crazy. So Jen Affleck is so cute and full of life. I love her. She's 24 years old. She was told that Ben Affleck is her second cousin. And she has the same middle name as J-Lo. And so she is also Jen Affleck. Which, like, it's crazy how, like, now she's the only Jen Affleck because they got divorced again. She's the family provider. She's super comfortable with her sexuality. And apparently inspires full spread peach to the wind nudes among the other women and girls.
Before you're married, it's like sex is taboo, but then the second you get married, you're supposed to be this like porn star for your husband.
We know who the real porn star is for their husband.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. We've seen those nudes.
Whitney is worried that her family would be shocked about her posting nudes. I'm not saying not nudes with the sex toy. I'm not saying my family would be jazzed about me posing with sex toys. However, if that's what brings in the money that makes the food appear on the table, Leanne brings Taylor's stepfather over to tell him, to Taylor's house, to tell him that Dakota is moving in. So, all drama on a reality TV show is manufactured in some way, shape, or form, but this truly feels manufactured because Taylor's 28. Why does she need to get her father's permission before inviting the man who she is 7 to 8 months pregnant by into her house? They're mad about it. Her family would prefer if they be married before moving in together, but that's not gonna happen because this baby is coming and she will not be rushed into marriage with Dakota. Leanne asks some more brain dead cow questions like, why do you have to rush it? Because I'm having a baby. This is your punishment for having a baby out of wedlock.
I'm not supportive of it. Why do you have to rush it?
Okay, I don't want a revolving door of men around my children. It happened that, like, sometimes shit happen. Men be liars. Men be lying. Men love lie. You shouldn't have gotten pregnant if you were scared of commitment. Would you have supported her getting an abortion? Everything I've gathered from Leanne says that was never on the table. The problem is one of those things where when you start asking questions and like problem solving, the solution that they want is for you never to have done it and for it to have never have existed. but that's not how things work, and things that you don't like do exist. Dakota appears and is hyped to move in with Taylor. She tells him that she literally just told her folks that he's moving in, and they do not like him.
Hi.
How's it going?
Here, I'm gonna help you bring some boxes.
You don't have to, baby.
Yeah.
Fine.
Do you have any?
Looking at Dakota's behavior throughout this episode, I am curious if he was using throughout the season. He's just very, like, I know part of it's like he's nervous about being on camera, but he's very, like, I don't know. I don't know him well enough, and I don't know about drugs well enough to know if he's using, but he gets my goat sometimes negative. So we get baby shower prep. Macy and Taylor settle in to talk about rejoining Mom Talk and how Taylor owns her shit. She's like, yeah, I punched my baby daddy and that fucked up the bag for you guys. Sorry. An event that her ex-husband appeared at, she got stressed and weird, and then Dakota, the stand-up guy that he is, starts yelling at her and calling her a slut, that she was feeling these ways about her ex-husband. It's all very bad. He's not a good man. Macy doesn't like Dakota, and Dakota doesn't like Macy. She doesn't like the way that he treats her friend and tells her. She wants to support Taylor even if her boyfriend sucks, because that's what a good friend does, and, you know, Compare and contrast Macy and Taylor to everyone and Jen later on. We will see. Macy thinks that the relationship is toxic and is worried about her friend getting worse. Taylor respects Macy's opinion and knows that she only wants the best for her when she tells her that they should break up. Slay! Back with Macy, we head to Macy's family home. Whitney's family is very conservative and very Mormon, which impacts her thoughts on promoting a vibrator. Her mom thinks that this should all be private and not at all discussed. Whitney louds how this could be used to help girls find themselves. Her mom treats sex as though it is comparable to murder.
Yeah, no.
I think when you're seeking pleasure, it can just get out of hand.
Whitney's first time with Connor was a fearful sex comedy, horror film.
If I could go back in time, I would check that off of my parenting list to make sure that I asked if there was anything that you wanted to know that you didn't know.
Maybe it's because he did the wrong hardware, right? Software update, wrong hardware. Whitney wanted sex ed from her mom so that she could have felt more confident. She's hoping that with her sisters, that things can change for them and they can be a bit more confident. Hoping for a situation where girls can feel good about sex and emotional intimacy. Still no sex before marriage, but marriage is not masturbation. Whitney resolves to promote the sex toys. Taylor and Dakota talk at a restaurant. Who's coming to the baby shower? You saw Macy? Brr. Is Macy still talking shit? Brr. She doesn't like me. Brr. Yeah, she's protective of her friend. Taylor's like, I've confided in my friend. And he's like, well, she doesn't like any of the photos that I'm in. I wouldn't either, bro. You're a scumbag.
Oh, she's still talking shit. Like always.
No.
Yeah, that's all she does.
Dakota's so fucking toxic. That boy ain't right, I'm telling you. Taylor talks about how special her relationship with Macy is because she doesn't really have any friends anymore. Most of her friends she had before the swinger scandal are gone, and she really does fear her need for human vulnerability. Taylor feels on the outs and insecure with the rest of the group. She doesn't want to lose those friendships she has in Mom Talk. They might be co-workers, but they're her life raft of social right now. She's getting, I mean, you have to like look at it. It's like, yeah, the girls in Mom Talk might be mad at her, but her mom is literally like, you're ruining my life constantly and making me old all the time. You're the worst. Ooh. Whitney and Layla go to the Himalayan salt park to have the kids play because they're sick.
Good for your immune system. So it's like anytime my kids are sick or if I'm sick, like I'm like, we need to go to a salt cave.
Ew. Whitney isn't going to Taylor's baby shower because they aren't friends anymore and that they don't have that sort of relationship anymore. Whitney says that the relationship is give, but I don't think that's true, Ellen. I think she's so mad that Taylor's the leader of Mom Talk and is the most popular. I think she is indeed jealous of Taylor's ability to do water off a duck's back all of her scandals. She just keeps pushing. She just keeps growing. Whitney will always be followed around by her RSV scandals, and will always be followed by her doing a TikTok dance over her sickly baby's crib. That is always going to follow her. Taylor is scandalous while Whitney is cringe. Whitney is just like, we're not friends. We're not friends.
This is definitely typical Whitney. She will have problems with somebody, have tension, and she just wants to avoid it rather than to talk to them.
Every time we're together.
Sure, okay, but this is your coworker, and this is a work event. Go to work. Whitney doesn't want to be a kiss ass of Taylor. I don't feel safe around her. What the fuck does that mean? I know what it means. It's their prize speech. But she says she doesn't feel safe around Taylor, so she's not gonna go. Time for the baby shower. Not Whitney. Taylor is nervous that her friends will show up. She has returned to Taylor has returned to the church, and she isn't really sure who's going to be there for her. She doesn't want to do it alone. I think it is so crazy that season 1 is Whitney v. Taylor versus the world, and how little Whitney is aware of how much shutting Taylor out is antithetical to her Mom Talk mantra. She's saying things. The other girls arrive to the party with gifts, looking good. They all support her journey. Dakota is here. Why would a man be there? That is like my most I think if we're gonna do gender roles, if we're gonna do gender roles, there are some things that should be sacred. I don't think men should be at the baby shower. I think the baby shower is about the mom and the baby. I don't have to think about what that means for gay people, same-sex people, people who are trans, because this is not the conversation we're having. We are talking about two het people doing 1,000-year-old het shit together. I don't think a man should be there. I think it throws off the vibe. If I'm friends with a girlie, and then her boyfriend sucks, but she's still gonna have that shitty man's baby, I don't want to have to see that shitty man at the baby shower. This isn't about you. This is about her and whatever she's carrying. If I didn't dislike the man, I think I might have a different opinion. I still think it shouldn't. I'm a fan of a party for any occasion. Go have a daddy shower with the bros. I don't know. But I don't think you should be there. They should be about the mom and the baby. It's like a bridal shower. But it's like, why would Cletus be here? Like, of course, you had to be involved for us to even be happening, but why would a man be there? Ah! Layla tells the other girls that Whitney isn't coming. Whitney does this thing where instead of telling someone that she's upset with them, she just stops talking to them and then gets increasingly upset when they don't text her or hunt her down to ask why she's upset with them. Like, she didn't say to Taylor that she was displeased with their friendship. She just doesn't show up for her and then talk shit behind her back at increasingly loud volumes.
Hand on your belly, 'cause I love it.
Do you guys know where Whitney is? Oh, is Whitney not here yet?
I don't know. Fashionably late.
Taylor asks to take a photo with all the moms, and Whitney just isn't there. They ask Layla, and she tells her that Whitney says she doesn't have a friendship with Taylor, which is news to Taylor. See above. Demi must have gotten her face balanced in between seasons because sister looked pickled. Negative. In season 1, we see the formation of the saints and sinners around Whitney and Taylor. Really, we'll see it around Jen, but
there's a clear division in Mom Talk: sinners versus saints. Exactly.
Leanne oversteps as a mom and calls Whitney to ask her why she isn't here, which is crazy. Whitney is sassy. Whitney says it's a conversation between her and Taylor, but you are beefing heavily with a pregnant woman, so that's kind of shitty on your part. Episode 3, Book of Saints and Sinner. We start off at Michaela's house with Macy. They're all gonna hang out with Whitney to get to the bottom of this. Oh my god, we get a Poppy SpawnCon shot.
I'll tell you what.
I thought about buying a poppy for this. I don't like poppies enough to spend that amount of money. When earlier this year, people were like, poppies, they should be giving away poppies and their vending machines to single moms instead of celebrities. Poppy is a luxury product. It is not Aquafina, girl. That shit is mid as hell for y'all to be like, ugh. Like, if you love it, if you like it, I love it for you. That shit's mid as hell, and you gotta admit that. You don't gotta admit anything to me, I guess, but I think you're all capping too hard for a corp. You wanna be picked. Everyone wants to be picked. That's fine, but that is not like diapers that you need to be giving to single moms. Let the influencers fuck around with a vending machine. They all sit around like, oh my god, it's crazy that Leanne called you. That's nuts, that's wild, but damn, you should have texted Taylor, girl. Michaela collects that Whitney is pulling a stunt to get the spotlight on her, that she wants to be the leader of Mom Talk. Macy just wants everyone to get along because Macy is a businesswoman and this is gonna fuck up the bottom line.
Leader of Mom Talk.
We're not friends. It's so weird to me.
I definitely sometimes feel torn between Taylor and Whitney. I really just need them to talk so that we can figure everything out and become like a whole group again.
She thinks you're friends, so that's why she's confused.
Well, then you don't know the definition of friends.
At Jen's house, Zach has just graduated from BYU undergrad, so they're gonna have a grad party with Mom Talk folk. Zach hopes that her Mom Talk friends can behave themselves. Zach doesn't like Mom Talk, and Mom Talk doesn't particularly like Zach, but they all have to make each other money, so they need to suck it up. This is kind of the start of Demi and Jesse having boundary issues with Jen. Please don't drink at my husband's graduation party. How could you, you overly Mormon freak? Like, come on, you're adults. This is a simple request, and they act like she has asked them to put on their garb and start saying hymns. Like, if you can't handle being friends with someone who doesn't let you be sacrilegious in their home, maybe don't be friends / co-workers with them. But again, this is a co-worker event. You're getting drunk at work, but I know, like, the job is scandal, so, like, maybe I could get there, but I also cannot. Period. The moms have a packed schedule this week with parties, where Whitney and Taylor will see each other for the first time since the no-show at the baby shower. There's going to be the graduation party, a baby blessing, and then Demi's party later in the week. At the party, instead of a bartender, they have a soda jerk from a local shop called Thirst. Jen's mom is an Ecuadorian immigrant who is a cleaning lady at the same hospital that Zach's father is a heart surgeon in. They are from totally different backgrounds, and Jen feels like she has to earn her way into this family to not be a gold digger. To cover who drinks in Mom Talk and who doesn't, Layla has stopped, Whitney doesn't, everyone else is up for grabs. Whitney feels that Michaela, Jen, and her are the most devout, Macy being an interloper, and that by that metric, Jesse, Demi, Taylor are the least, with Layla being a follower. The saints and sinners are a line drawn in the sand. The party happens, Taylor leaves as the rest of the group heads to the hot tub. Taylor tries to confront Whitney and she just
Kids can't. Bye. I'd love to talk. So there's no like, back up, Macy. Any elephants in the room?
bleats. She, being Whitney, just bleats like a lamb. She shouldn't have to have a conversation that she doesn't want to have. She feels like she shouldn't have to tell Taylor why she's mad at her, and then is just like, and she will hang on to this. Once the pregnant woman leaves, the pregnant woman who probably can't be around alcohol because of her history, leaves, and then the party really begins as Jordan brings vodka to the hot tubbing, with Whitney being incensed. Jen is very hurt that they would do something so insensitive at her home. Like, this is her party, and you're telling her, and she's telling you not to. Adults over the age of 30 play Never Have I Ever in an embarrassing way. They keep talking about giving other people shots. This makes Jen very uncomfortable because this is Jen's in-laws' house and they already do not like Mom Talk and think it's a bad influence, and that they're going to be and so now they're going to be a bad influence at her house. About drinking at the day party. Do I think the need to have a drink at a social gathering being so great that you have to bring a flask and then goad the sober host to drink? Tacky. absolutely tacky behavior. However, it feels a little silly. Like, if my parents see you drinking, they're gonna be so mad at us, and then we can't be friends anymore. Do I think that the need to have a drink at a social gathering being so great that you bring a flask and then goad the sober host to drink is tacky? Absolutely. However, it feels a little bit silly to, it feels a little silly to be like, if my parents see you drinking, they're gonna be so mad at us, and then we can't be friends anymore for people over the age of 21. This feels a little silly too. This is a high control group after all, and they've got rules. What I didn't know before this, it was said above, is that this is effectively her relationship with Zach and how he treats her, where he gets mad at her friends for being her friends, and then continues this pattern of being mad at her when her friends do something. And still, do I think they're being tacky? Yes. Do I think that Zach sucks? Also yes. Everyone in the situation sucks. It's really weird to have a show about friendship and community to have so much exclusion. And if Whitney wasn't a social media mean girl, she would run a LuLaRoe downline like the Navy. Hey girlie.
When Jordan brought out the flask, I just thought it was inappropriate.
Macy. Michaela, Macy, Jen, and Whitney go to get Botox. Despite being 23, these women are getting Botox because they get to have laughing gas, which means they get to get high legally. These women would not touch weed, but will do ketamine at the drop of a hat. Whitney says that Michaela is the most fun to watch get Botox because the laughing gas gets her silly.
I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep.
Her body is a temple, with the exception of plastic surgery. I guess never take the scaffolding down from your temple. Jen is disinviting Taylor, Layla, Jesse, and Demi to her baby blessing because of their disrespectful behavior, which is like, what did Taylor do? Why does it fuck me? He said, fuck T.I. Fuck me. What'd I do? Frankly, this is fine with Whitney, who is sowing discord, and Michaela is side-eyeing her about it. Jen doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but she doesn't want them there. Fair, whatever, sure. It's your party. Like, that's the thing, is like, you can not want certain coworkers to show up to your very intimate family event, but like, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be on the show anymore. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be on the show anymore. I'm sorry. You lost that right, Pookie. Demi comes to Jesse's salon to talk about the invitation. They FaceTime her about it, and she doesn't want any bad vibes, which kind of hurts more than going, You look
beautiful.
Horrific right now. Sorry, I'm literally in my room.
Okay, we wanted to call because Macy and I were at lunch.
I'm paring down the list. And that's Zach's event too, and that he doesn't know or like your husbands. They argue back and forth about why they should have the right to be there, which is like, you don't have the right to be there. I think she's being tacky, but I also think she gets to decide who shows up to her party. This is a TV show, and they are at work, and you are fucking with their hours. It is a baby blessing, and he should have some say in who is around his baby, and you guys don't have the best track record of behaving yourselves. They've had it on their calendars, and they felt jilted. You're allowed to feel bad, but they do not owe you an explanation on not being invited. And frankly, I am done with this section, so if anything else happened that you really liked here, I am skipping it. I do not want to discuss. Jen arrives, super cute, and on time. Demi is late hosting her own party. And so we get cuts back and forth. I gotta stop moving the mic. We get cuts back and forth between
I almost biffed it on the way.
Demi getting ready, some of the girls arriving, and our Saint contingencies getting ready at Macy's house, I believe. It's like, the thing about, and I'm sure that Hulu was also aware of this. I'm not saying anything new, but I love the fact that the Saints are assholes. Like, being led by Whitney, the Saints are assholes. Mean girl, typical, and they are like posited as the typical mean girls. It's the blondest, it's the whitest, you know, the quote-unquote prettiest members of Mom Talk all get together to be absolutely rotted together.
Did you hear her when she said she was a 9 out of 10 in the Mormon scale?
No, Michaela told me that.
I was like, what?
Macy, Michaela, and Whitney are getting ready together as they are doing mean girl shit as Whitney does a less than flattering impression of Demi. Demi considers herself a 9 out of 10 Mormon. This is in fact a delusional take. However, faith is personal, and to call someone not a Mormon like that, I don't know. She's not even wearing her garments. We get introduced to the fruity cereal incident sex story, in which Demi did a sex act, and
But then Demi started sharing this crazy sex story involving Brett, her husband, and Macy was like, absolutely not, that did not happen. Like, kind of like,
and is like, oh my god, I did it at like a party. And she calls Brett to be like, ooh, remember when I did this thing? Asking him in an intimate way if she did what she said she did. He confirms, but Whitney found it to be embarrassing and violating.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving this Demi crash out era right now. So since she wants to be petty and be an asshole, I think I'm just going to go ahead and say that Grandpa Brett likes to drink her piss like it's dirty soda, and he gulps it down like water, and that's what Fruity Pebbles is.
Breaking news from the future. We know what Fruity Pebbles is now. And Fruity Pebbles. Jesse? It's when... So it's not when. It is that Demi pissed in Brett's mouth and he loves it. Drinks it up like dirty soda. And I feel like that changes everything for me on the Whitney situation with it. Because that's insane. Like, dipping your giblets in some cereal and presenting it to your partner, nothing's going out the out hole, you know? But the moment, I think what bothers me most about it is the fact that it shouldn't taste like Fruity Pebbles no matter how much Fruity Pebbles you eat. And if your piss is sweet, you should get checked for diabetes. So I can't even imagine. Demi needs to get checked neurologically for a lot of things, emotionally for a lot of things. My light has turned on me. I think she really needs to get checked by a general practitioner for diabetes. That's a silent killer, girl. So with that in mind, Macy, Whitney, and Michaela, valid. If my coworker told me they pissed into their husband's mouth, I too wouldn't know how to act. Would I brought it up at a Galentine's event at work? No. Would I, as the husband, be pissed? Would I be peeved if I found out that my wife told everyone that I'd be drinking your nectar? Yeah. Is Whitney still in the wrong for being upset that she's upset at her? No. But it's piss now. It's piss. A girl didn't know that it was piss, and now a girl knows. It was always piss. So naturally, Whitney brings it up on their show and is going to do a harmless prank at her event. We never get an on-screen confrontation of the sex act, but I assume she put Fruity Pebbles inside of herself and then dropped them into his mouth. So Whitney packs a box full of Fruity Pebbles to humiliate Demi at her own party. Michaela doesn't appreciate this. Everyone else arrives and Demi is still late. Layla still hasn't told her that everyone else isn't allowed to go to the baby blessing. In reference to the Saints and Sinners discussion, Taylor thinks it's kind of stupid because the whole point about Mormonism and like Jesus and Christianity is that you don't turn your back on sinners, that it's a very inclusive group. And so the idea of turning your back on your friends and like excluding people because they are not as pious, how are they supposed to learn and become more pious if they can't be around you? But Demi finally arrives at her own party. Time to do gifts. Whitney cannot keep a straight face before Demi opens the gift. Demi seems really touched that she received a gift at her party from Whitney.
Yeah, this is cute. Wait, this is really thoughtful. It is so thoughtful of me. Thank you. Oh. Shut up. Oh.
Before she gets the lid off, and it's just Fruity Pebbles, and the rest of the girls bust out laughing. Demi is insulted because this was her very vague party theme was women supporting women, and mocking her sex life is not very women supporting women, not very girls girl. Whitney is like, that's weird that she responded that way. Like, she isn't always talking about safe spaces. Macy goes to talk to Demi and tells her that Whitney is mad at her. Why does she feel justified? Why does Whitney get to feel justified in that emotion when she's the one who did the hurtful thing? So Demi goes to tell Whitney and is like, why are you mad at me? She's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation because everyone's like, Whitney, that was kind of shitty. Why do you feel this way? She's like, I just feel ambushed because Demi is like, I feel ambushed because I didn't like your joke at my expense. How is that? I'm upset and you're upset at me because I'm upset that you did this to me? Okay, sure. Moving on. Today's the day of the baby blessing, and the sinners go bowling and the saints are at the baby blessing. I believe that Jen wanted an event paid for by the show, and that's what she had. And that's why she had the baby blessing on camera. I think also that's an unfair take, because I think the most fair take is that the show was originally supposed to be about Mormonism and showing off, like, see, we're normal Mormons. We're so good and good. But it quickly becomes about the women's interpersonal drama because that's what's more interesting as a reality TV show. And so I originally was like, she just wanted an event catered by Hulu. And, you know, that's the way to do that is to have it on the show, but not have people that you find annoying there. However, now I'm a little more charitable because, like, there's so many interesting things in the beginning about Mormonism that we just get dropped off the face of the planet because of girl drama and husband drama. And will Mom Talk survive this? Swinging scandal, Dakota scandal, payment contract dispute scandal. Jen says something along the lines that she was looking forward to having an event that is just about Luca on the dime of production. You were on a TV show about interpersonal conflict and you refuse to invite those you have interpersonal conflict with, which is fine at a normal baptism in the real world, but you're on TV show. Why are we seeing this on the TV show? Me of a year later can now recognize that we are seeing this on a TV show because I think this was a different show before. I think it was a different show, guys. Whitney sure loves running from a toxic situation. A situation she made toxic. So that's the end of episode 3 and 4. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. That's the end of this recap. You'll get me for the second half. Maybe the second third of this season. Next time. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Megan_Blush_. And if not, links are in the description.